pick Steve Harvey as the representative for all things black. Steve Harvey, let's keep this shit funky. Steve Harvey is on his third marriage. His third wife was mistress to his second wife.
When I think about how quickly he moved forward from me to Marjorie, that was disturbing.
Financially, my life is in a shamble. That is absolutely true. But it's been like that since 2005.
Why,
so this is
though?
not
But why is it in shambles?
Because we have a man of power and authority, and he used that in the court.
When I tell you Mary Harvey is not letting a single secret about Marjorie Harvey slide, it's getting wild. She's been going back and forth online, calling Steve and Marjorie bullies after claiming they spent years trying to silence her and drain her financially. At the same time, she's been putting Marjorie's past under a huge spotlight and questioning the image the public was sold. And now, with everything Mary says she knows, she believes her whole life could have turned out differently if Marjorie never entered the picture as someone connected to Steve during that time and pushed her out of her own home. People have heard rumors about Steve and Marjorie's relationship for years, but the deeper this story gets, the more people start wondering how much effort and money went into building that polished, family-perfect image. Because honestly, according to all these claims and accusations, things may not have been as picture-perfect behind the scenes as they looked. Now, if there's one person people say really got the rough end of the situation with Steve Harvey, it's his ex-wife, Mary Shackleford. She was married to Steve from 1996 to 2005, and according to the stories being told, she ended up caught right in the middle when Marjorie reportedly came into Steve's life and started getting close to him during the rise of his fame and success. When Mary first met Steve, he had already separated from his first wife and family because he reportedly felt his personal life was slowing down his career goals. Back then, Mary allegedly didn't know the full details about his previous relationship and allowed Steve to stay with her for years while he was still trying to make it big. At that point, he wasn't the huge celebrity people know today, and many believe Mary played a major role in helping support his journey to success. Even after they got married and she later found out more about his previous family situation, reports claim she still tried to make sure everyone was taken care of and encouraged Steve to handle his responsibilities financially. Mary and Marcia, Steve's first wife, reportedly had a pretty solid relationship, which surprised a lot of people. And when Steve wanted to open his comedy club but didn't have enough money to make it happen, Mary allegedly stepped in with $250,000 from her personal savings to help seal the deal. On top of that, she even handled the interior design herself so he could avoid piling up more costs and pressure. Looking back now, people say Mary truly believed her marriage with Steve was secure because their lives were so connected and they were building a future together with family involved.
Yet, black people have anointed this motherfucker the oracle when it comes to black dating. This nigga the book on dating. You on your third wife, homie.
From her point of view, there wasn't much reason to question where things stood between them. But while Mary reportedly felt confident about the relationship, rumors claim Marjorie had quietly re-entered Steve's life behind the scenes and was slowly becoming a bigger influence over time. Now, if you ask Steve and Marjorie how they first met, they usually tell the same polished story every single time. According to them, Marjorie showed up at one of Steve's early comedy shows. He spotted her in the crowd, said she would one day become his wife, and the rest supposedly became history. But according to longtime rumors and online chatter, people believe the real timeline behind their relationship may have been a lot more complicated than what the public heard. Reports and gossip from back then claim that after their first meeting, Marjorie allegedly wasn't interested in Steve because he was still struggling financially and hadn't reached fame yet. At the time, she was reportedly connected to several controversial figures and people involved in serious street activity, which later became a major topic online. Marjorie was also previously married to Jim Townsend, a man who later became tied to major criminal allegations connected to illegal substances in Memphis. As rumors continued spreading, People even gave her controversial nicknames because of the company she was allegedly around during those years. There were also claims that her reputation reportedly became so intense that it affected her time at the University of Memphis. After Jim later faced legal trouble and prison time, reports claimed Marjorie moved on quickly and later married Darnell Woods, Laurie's father, who was also rumored to have connections to dangerous street activity. However, just like Jim, reports say Darnell later started facing major legal problems too, and everything around that lifestyle reportedly began falling apart fast. According to rumors surrounding the situation, Marjorie was suddenly left trying to figure out her next move without the same financial security or stability she once had. People close to the gossip claim she realized she needed a completely different path if she wanted a more comfortable and long-term lifestyle.
A family, and I had someone that took up for me. I never was afraid because he was there. He was like the brother, daddy, uncle, everybody. And that meant a lot to me. And my family meant a lot to me. And he knew that because I told him about my family when I met him. And I was telling him about how important everybody was to me. I felt safe for the first time in my life. So I said to myself,
around that same time, Steve's career was taking off in a huge way, thanks to the success of Kings of Comedy. His fame was growing fast, and he was becoming one of the biggest names in entertainment. That's when rumors started swirling that Marjorie reconnected with Steve after previously turning him down years earlier when he was still struggling. But according to longtime industry gossip, people claimed she didn't approach Steve directly at first. Instead, rumors alleged she became close with Steve's bodyguard, Big Boom, which supposedly helped her get back into Steve's circle. And from there, stories online claim the relationship between Steve and Marjorie became much more serious behind the scenes. Some reports even alleged that Steve was financially supporting Marjorie during that time by helping with an apartment and other expenses. Meanwhile, rumors claimed she was often traveling alongside him, while explanations were reportedly being given to Mary back home. But according to the stories being shared, the more attention and support Steve gave Marjorie, the more confident she became about wanting a bigger place in his life. Rumors even claimed that things escalated when Marjorie allegedly sent Mary information about her relationship with Steve directly. There were also reports saying Mary received unexpected calls at home that made it clear this situation wasn't going away quietly.
Once Mary reportedly confronted Steve about everything, she later claimed his attitude changed completely and that he became distant almost overnight. And when the divorce process officially started, Mary said she began seeing a much colder side of the situation and felt completely pushed aside during the split. The divorce reportedly stretched out for a long time because Mary believed she deserved a fair outcome after everything they had built together. But according to her claims, tensions between all sides kept growing as negotiations became more difficult.
with all the emails and the text messages and the different things that I was finding out about, I thought the least that he could do, make me whole at the end of it.
Mary also alleged that during the fallout, actions were taken that deeply affected her relationship with her son, which only made the entire situation even more emotional and painful. Mary claimed that during that period, she sometimes noticed marks on her son Winton after visits and became deeply worried about what might have been happening behind closed doors. She reportedly said she couldn't tell where the issues were coming from, but believed the situation was affecting her emotionally and mentally in a serious way. At one point, she even filed a police report after alleging that Winton returned from Steve's home with visible bruises. According to reports, after authorities looked into the matter and the case was later closed, Steve moved forward with filing for full custody of Winton. Because Steve reportedly had access to stronger legal resources and high-powered attorneys, Mary said she struggled to keep up financially during the court battle and eventually lost custody. From that point on, Mary claimed she rarely got to see her son and believed the situation created distance between them over the years. After speaking publicly about her side for a long time, many people online now feel her story is finally getting more attention. As more old interviews and clips started resurfacing online, people began looking at Steve and Marjorie's relationship from a completely different angle. What once looked like the perfect Hollywood love story suddenly had viewers questioning how much of it was carefully managed behind the scenes. Every time Mary spoke out again, social media lit up with debates, with some people defending Steve, while others believed Mary had been trying to warn the public for years. At the same time, critics also started pointing at how quickly Marjorie stepped into a luxury lifestyle once Steve's career exploded. Online rumors kept growing, with people claiming there were major overlaps in the timeline of Steve's marriage and his connection with Marjorie. Even though none of the more extreme accusations were ever fully proven, the non-stop speculation kept adding pressure to the polished image they worked so hard to maintain. And the more people dug into the past, the messier the story started looking for everybody involved. Then things got even more awkward when old comments and past clips involving Steve started making rounds again online. Some viewers pointed out how Steve often spoke publicly about loyalty, relationships, and respect, while critics argued that Mary's version of events painted a completely different picture behind closed doors. That contrast alone had social media going crazy, with people debating whether the public had only been seeing one carefully controlled side of the story all these years.
She brought it to me, and when she handed it to me, it was almost like that package burned my hand. I knew it was something crazy. I didn't want to look in it, but of course I had to look in it. So I opened it and I'm reading this letter. And the more I'm reading this letter, and her wording is so defined.
Meanwhile, others started paying closer attention to Marjorie's lifestyle posts, expensive vacations, and luxury image, questioning how much of their brand was built on appearance rather than reality. Every new rumor or resurfaced allegation seemed to spark another wave of reactions, and blogs wasted no time turning the drama into non-stop headlines. Even longtime fans started admitting the situation felt more complicated than they first believed. And with Mary continuing to stand by her claims after all this time, people online kept asking the same question. Was there way more happening behind the scenes than anyone originally realized? As the conversation kept growing online, more people began revisiting stories from individuals who claimed to have worked around Steve and Marjorie during those years. While some defended the couple and dismissed the rumors as bitterness from the past, others said there had always been whispers about tension, favoritism, and carefully protected secrets behind the scenes. The internet quickly turned every old interview, photo, and public appearance into evidence, and the speculation only got louder. What really shocked people was how divided the reactions became. Some viewers felt Mary had every right to speak about her experiences after staying quiet for so long, while others believed too much of the story relied on rumors and personal accusations that could never fully be verified. Still, that didn't stop the drama from spreading across blogs, podcasts, and social media pages almost daily. And through all the chaos, Steve and Marjorie mostly kept presenting the same united front in public, smiling at events and posting family moments online like none of the controversy was touching them at all. But even with Steve and Marjorie keeping things polished in public, the rumors refused to slow down. Every time they posted another luxury vacation, family celebration, or motivational message online, critics rushed to the comments bringing up Mary's accusations all over again. It got to the point where almost any interview involving Steve would instantly turn into debates about his past relationships and whether the full story had ever really been told. At the same time, supporters of Mary argued that her emotional interviews over the years didn't sound rehearsed or calculated to them. They believed she genuinely felt hurt by how everything played out and wanted people to understand her side after feeling ignored for so long.
It was like somebody was rolling tape. Her verbiage about him, like how he spoke, the words he said, how he walked in the room, everything. She was like painting a picture of him being, at their apartment or whatever. I don't know anything about a house.
Meanwhile, others questioned why these claims continue resurfacing years later and wondered if social media was simply keeping old drama alive for attention. Still, one thing nobody could deny was how fast public opinion had started shifting. The carefully built, perfect couple image no longer looked untouchable, and more people were openly questioning the story they had believed for years. As the backlash kept building, people also started digging into old business moves and public statements connected to Steve's career. Some critics claim that behind the motivational speeches and relationship advice was a much more complicated personal history than fans originally realized. Every resurfaced clip added another layer to the conversation, and online pages kept breaking down timelines, interviews, and past rumors like they were solving a mystery in real time. At the center of all the discussion was still Mary, who many believed had spent years trying to tell her side while being overshadowed by Steve's massive celebrity status. Supporters argued that once someone becomes powerful in Hollywood, it gets harder for opposing voices to be taken seriously, especially when money, influence, and public image are involved. That belief alone kept fueling non-stop debates across social media platforms. And while Steve and Marjorie continued staying mostly silent about the newer waves of criticism, the internet definitely wasn't staying quiet. If anything, every attempt to ignore the controversy only seemed to make people even more curious about what really happened behind the scenes. The situation got even more intense once people began comparing Steve's public image from different stages of his career. Fans noticed that in earlier interviews, he sometimes spoke very differently about relationships, marriage, and loyalty than he did years later. That instantly sparked another wave of online theories, with critics claiming his stories seemed to change depending on the audience and the moment. Meanwhile, bloggers and reaction channels kept revisiting old rumors involving people connected to the couple, trying to piece together timelines and alleged behind-the-scenes drama. Some of the claims were impossible to fully confirm, but that didn't stop the internet from running wild with speculation. Every reposted clip and headline only pushed the story further into the spotlight. What really kept people invested was the emotional side of everything. Mary continued speaking as someone who felt deeply betrayed by how her life changed, while Steve and Marjorie stayed focused on presenting a successful and united image to the world. That contrast made the entire situation feel even more dramatic to viewers watching from the outside. And honestly, the more attention this story got, the harder it became for the controversy to fade away quietly. By this point, the internet had fully turned the situation into one of those celebrity stories people just couldn't stop talking about. Every few months, another old clip, interview, or social media post would resurface and send the rumors spinning all over again. Some viewers felt the constant attention was unfair, while others believed the public was finally starting to question the polished image that had been protected for years. A lot of the discussion also centered around how carefully celebrities manage their brands in Hollywood. People online started pointing out that successful public figures often work hard to keep certain personal issues away from the spotlight, especially when their careers depend on being relatable and family-friendly. That's why so many viewers became obsessed with comparing the public version of Steve and Marjorie's relationship to the accusations and rumors floating around online.
In a small town in Texas, he was able to manipulate this entire situation to his benefit, and it does happen. It gave him that because I'm a nobody. You know, his lawyers came in, his team of lawyers and his entourage, and you know, he's a man with the power. He's in 60 markets. He's written these books. You know, he's socially connected with the programs and Disney and all these type people.
At the same time, others warn that social media can easily blur the line between facts, gossip, and personal opinions. Even with all the speculation, many parts of the story still remained unclear, which only made people argue about it even more. And somehow, every new conversation just kept pulling more attention back to the drama. What made the entire situation even more fascinating to people was how long the rumors managed to survive without fully disappearing. Usually, celebrity drama fades after a few news cycles, but this story kept resurfacing year after year. Every time Steve gave relationship advice on television or posted motivational content online, critics instantly brought up Mary's accusations again and questioned whether the image being presented matched reality behind closed doors. Meanwhile, supporters of Steve argued that public figures often face exaggerated stories once they reach a certain level of fame and success. They believed people online were connecting unrelated rumors and turning them into larger narratives without solid proof. But on the other side, many viewers felt there were simply too many repeated claims over the years to completely ignore the controversy altogether. The non-stop back and forth kept the internet divided right down the middle. Some people saw Steve and Marjorie as a strong power couple who survived public scrutiny, while others viewed the relationship as a story filled with unanswered questions and uncomfortable accusations that never fully went away. And with social media constantly bringing old stories back to life, the drama never really stayed buried for long. As more people revisited the story, some viewers started focusing less on the gossip itself and more on the bigger picture surrounding fame, power, and public image in Hollywood. Many argued that celebrity relationships often look completely different behind the scenes compared to what fans see online or on television. That idea alone kept pulling new audiences into the conversation, especially younger viewers, discovering the drama for the first time through viral clips and reaction videos. At the same time, content creators across social media kept analyzing every detail, from old interviews to past appearances, trying to figure out where the truth actually landed. Some believe Mary's emotional reactions over the years gave her claims credibility, while others insisted there was no way to fully know what really happened between all the people involved. The uncertainty only made the story spread even faster, and while the internet continued debating non-stop, Steve and Marjorie kept showing up publicly as if none of the noise was affecting them at all. That calm response impressed some fans, but the critics, it only added another layer of mystery to an already messy situation. By now, the story had grown way bigger than just old relationship drama. It had turned into a non-stop internet debate about trust, image, and how much celebrities can really control the way the public sees them. Every new reaction video or podcast discussion seemed to bring in even more opinions, with people picking sides and arguing over which version of events sounded the most believable.
It's easier for him to come to court and say, oh, this woman has no job, socially she is of no significance. She has no moral support or no emotional support, which I did not have, because everyone shifted to his side of the table, so to speak, because at that moment I did become insignificant.
Some critics claim Steve's carefully crafted family man reputation no longer matched the accusations and stories connected to his past. Others pushed back hard, saying the internet was taking years of rumors and stretching them into something far more dramatic than reality. Still, no matter which side people believed, one thing stayed clear. The controversy continued grabbing attention because so many questions still felt unanswered. Meanwhile, Mary's name kept coming up whenever conversations about Steve's personal life started trending again online. Supporters felt she had been overlooked for years and were now paying closer attention to her interviews and statements. And with social media constantly recycling old clips and headlines, the entire situation kept finding new life with every fresh wave of discussion. What really kept the internet locked into this story was how differently every person involved seemed to view the past. Mary continued speaking from a place of disappointment and frustration, while Steve and Marjorie stayed focused on their public image and successful lifestyle. That contrast created the kind of tension online audiences always pay attention to, especially when old interviews and rumors keep resurfacing year after year. At the same time, some people started questioning whether the pressure of fame played a huge role in how everything unfolded behind the scenes. Hollywood relationships already come with non-stop attention, and many viewers believe that once money, influence, and public reputation enter the mix, personal conflicts can become even messier. That perspective made the entire situation feel less like simple celebrity gossip and more like a complicated power struggle that never fully settled. Meanwhile, blogs and reaction channels kept turning every small detail into headline news, making sure the conversation never really disappeared from social media for too long. And with public curiosity still growing, it seems like people were nowhere near done dissecting every chapter of this drama. One person online said, "Everybody knew that Marjorie was for the streets. The only one who thought he could change that was Steve." And another commenter wrote, "People talking about Steve Harvey forget that he left his first wife and children once fame and money started coming in. Later had issues during his marriage to Mary and eventually married Marjorie. It's not about attacking women. If Mary is still upset, people feel she has reasons for feeling hurt because she supported him before the success." Now those are strong opinions from social media, and not everyone agrees with them. But clearly this whole situation still has people talking non-stop online. Between the old rumors,
resurfaced interviews, and all the accusations over the years, fans are still divided on what they believe really happened behind the scenes. But what do you think about all this drama? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can join the conversation. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.